Hello everyone, this is the OnePlus Open. You're wondering, this is a foldable phone, the first foldable from OnePlus, and boy, it's quite impressive. And I've been using it phone for the past few weeks, and I'm pretty much confident that we are in a very good trajectory in terms of upcoming devices in terms of foldables. So why are foldables not mainstream yet? Why do people just prefer using a normal phone and not a foldable? Mainly because foldables have been bulky, they have lackluster cameras, charge slowly, and then they are sometimes fragile and not very durable. We have a lot of fears associated with owning a foldable, and they are expensive. So OnePlus has gone back to the drawing board and tried to address a lot of these issues surrounding a foldable. And the OnePlus Open is quite impressive. And the build quality, the cameras, the charging, the overall performance is like leaves a very good feeling about the future of foldables. Let's find out what the OnePlus Open is all about. It's got a lot of things right, and basically in terms of the overall usability. So in terms of ergonomics, the OnePlus Open gets it bang on, and I really like it using with. Don't feel like I'm using a foldable device. It doesn't feel bulky in one hand. It's just about 239 grams in terms of the weight, and it's pretty thin at about 11 odd millimeters in terms of thickness, even when it's like folded back. And when it's open, it's about roughly about 5 in terms of thickness, pretty thin. And this does not mean that it's fragile. So there's a lot of R&D in terms of the materials used for designing the product. They're using a cobalt, molybdenum, titanium alloy. I mean, that's quite a lot of metals from the periodic table. So in place of surgical grade stainless steel, which is used on other devices in the market. So that in that way, it's lighter and more stronger as well. And the design does show that it's pretty formidable and durable. And so that's one of the fears people have while using foldables. Will it last? Will it break? So that is something they've addressed. And it feels premium definitely in the hand and does not feel, and especially this leather back is wonderful and gives a really premium feel. The camera modules with this nice reflective design is also nice. And you can see the Hasselblad branding. Yes, it packs Hasselblad partnership like the other OnePlus devices we have seen, the Pro series. And overall, I'm pretty impressed with the overall build quality and design of this device. So coming to the displays, you have a cover screen, and this is very pixel fold like. If you can see the overall aspect ratio and the design, it's very one hand friendly. And you have a camera on the top under the display. It's a 6.3 inch LTPO 3.0 AMOLED display. It's a super fluid AMOLED display they're using, and it's got a peak brightness of up to 2800 nits, which is very bright, and also has a high brightness of about 1400 nits. And it's got a ceramic guard on top of the the thin film panel, and it's got a 3-layer protection. So OnePlus is claiming that it's a lot stronger than Gorilla Glass Victus, which is speaking a lot about it. So speaking of the inner screen, it's a 7.82 inch flexi fluid AMOLED again LTPO 3.0 panel with a refresh rate of 1 to 120 hertz. It's pretty vivid and crisp for all use cases. And the beauty is both the outer and inner screen have similar color profiles and overall kind of viewability. So you don't have to really bother much when switching from one screen to other. Even the brightness levels are both at about 2800 nits, and both support Dolby Vision, HDR, and HDR10 plus. So on the display front, there is barely a crease which is visible only under bright light, but you can barely feel it or see it in day-to-day use. And in terms of the hinge, they've used zirconium based alloy, which is used for creating artificial bones in medical industry. That's what they claim. So this gives the device a solid feel and also more durability for the hinge. So in terms of the battery, it's got a dual battery design. It's a 4800 mAh battery with a 67 watt Superbook charger in the box. You can charge the device from 0 to 100 in about 40 minutes, and that's one of the fastest for foldables in the market right now. And this is OnePlus, one of legacy. They are dash charging and Superbook and all those. So that's impressive. There is no wireless charging, unfortunately, which I expected it to be then, but then I think they made a trade in for the device thickness and overall design, which is fine. And it's IPX4 rated for splash resistance. So coming over to the cameras is one of the highlights of this device. So you have, as you can see, the Hasselblad branding, and you have a 48 MP main Sony Litia sensor. This is a Litia or LYT T808 sensor. It's a pixel stack sensor, which is not making its appearance on the OnePlus Open for the first time. So this is equivalent to the IMX 890 sensor you would have seen in a OnePlus 11, and or even better than that. So that's what is OnePlus is talking about, and they managed to cram in that sensor into this kind of thin chassis, which is impressive. And you also get a 64 MB OmniVision telephoto sensor with 3x optical zoom and also 6x in sensor zoom, which goes up all the way to 120x with digital zoom. So pretty impressive there for a foldable. And you also have an ultra wide camera, 48 MP IMX 581 sensor. And so the rear camera supports 4K 30 fps Dolby Vision as well. And both the front cameras, there are two front cameras, one on the cover screen, which is a 32 MP camera, and one under the screen here on the right. I really like the position of the camera on the right side rather than over in the center, so you can use it even when you're like using the phone in a folded mode like this. And that sensor is a 20 MP sensor, so both support 4K video recording and 30 fps. The rear camera supports 4K up to 60 fps. The support for Dolby Vision, HDR10 on the display. And when you capture photos, you see Pro XDR applied. So OnePlus is calling it Pro XDR. So that's their HDR mode. So when you actually tap on that in your photos, you'll see the photo switching between XDR applied and not applied. And the cameras are pretty impressive for the most scenarios. There are some scenarios where the camera can perform better, especially in some of the low light conditions. And the zoom beyond a certain range is not very usable. Up to 6x is decent, but then overall it's a foldable, and I'm pretty impressed from the overall output from all the cameras put together. And I'm sure this is going to get better with software updates, and looking forward to that. And you also have Hasselblad special modes like expand, portrait, and all those which you see on a OnePlus Pro device, which is all there. I'm really surprised by two physical hardware features. You have an IR blaster for controlling your domestic appliances. Also have the iconic alert slider, which kind of disappeared in between on OnePlus devices. It's kind of come back now on most of the devices. Under the hood, it's powered by a Qualcomm Snapdragon 8 Gen 2 processor with about 16 gigs of LPDDR5X memory. And you also have RAM expansion. OnePlus likes to call it RAM Vita. And you also have 512 gigs of UFS 4.0 storage. And that's plenty of storage. Overall, on the performance, no issues there. The device, it's got 5G support, dual SIM support in terms of network connectivity. And you also have eSIM support coming in on the OnePlus Open. And it also supports Wi-Fi 7, which is, we don't know if we have routers yet, but it also supports Bluetooth 5.3. And on the connectivity front, it's pretty sorted. And on the software front, it's currently running on OxygenOS 13.1. It's getting OxygenOS soon. A lot of software tweaks which have been made by OnePlus in terms of making use of this large cover screen. You also have a nice desktop style taskbar while you use the device, and you also can switch and multitask very easily. Gets a little getting used to. There are a lot of gestures which you need to kind of use, and but still multitasking can get a lot done on this device. I wish there are some other software additions in terms of usability of the large screen. It's full-blown Android, so you don't have to bother about you can run everything on the cover screen as well. I've been using this device primarily on the outer screen and really like the aspect ratio of the outer screen. So very rarely do you actually need to if you need to use the large screen, you need to open up the device. So it's pretty awesome using it one-handed. Really like the one-handed feel. And unless you want to view your photos or browse the web or do multitasking, you don't need to open up the covers, the inner screen. So, and the fingerprint sensor is baked into the power button. The volume rocker is right above it. There's this nice leather back, which is really nice, and there's an LED flash away from the camera module. So all in all said, you managed to kind of tick a lot of boxes in most of the departments in case of a smartphone. The only thing remaining is actually the price. So when it comes to the price, this is a very kind of the ultra premium category of a smartphone, where Samsung has been dominating for quite some time, and Samsung's devices are priced somewhere close to about 1.5 lakh rupees, or close to the $1,700, $1,800 mark, or roughly something around the $2,000 mark is when they started it. Yeah, so it all boils down to the price. You can find the price of the device in the description below, And let us know what you think about the device. How do you think about the OnePlus Open? I'm going to be picking one up. Are you a OnePlus user? And what do you think about the OnePlus Open? Are you using some other smartphone brand? Or are you thinking of considering getting the OnePlus Open? Let us know. See you guys in the next video. Thanks for watching.